last week I received a message from SoCal Toyota on Instagram. They sent me a message basically saying that they loved my content, and they sent me 2 free tickets to tonight's Laker game, and that's why we're headed to the Staples Center. So shout out to Toyota of SoCal. I love that they thought of me for this giveaway. So one of the things I wanted to do for you guys in this video is to give you guys some follow-up and some feedback on this Prinsu roof rack. I've had it on the car now for about a little over 2 weeks. One of the other things I wanted to do for you guys in this video is answer some of the lighting questions that you guys have had regarding how I have things wired, where I'm running things. So I'll have the answers to some of your questions when we come back. See you guys in a bit. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Once again, thank you to Toyota of SoCal for reaching out to me on Instagram. And thank you to everyone that does follow me on the Blue Yoda Ford Instagram. The page just recently broke 3,000 followers, and I appreciate all of the feedback and the support you guys have shown me on this build. Now that I've had the Prinsu rack installed for a few weeks, I've slowly been decking it out with a few accessories and a few pieces of gear. Let's go ahead and do a quick walk around, and I'll show you what I've done to it so far. The newest addition to the rack is the Roam 5-foot awning. I got it in a slate color. Make sure you hit that subscribe button because I'll be doing a more in-depth video on this later. I've also added the Element LED micropods that I was originally running as ditch lights. I've brought to the rear, and I have converted them to my chase lights. I went ahead and retinted the lenses, and that way it cuts through the dust a little bit better. Some of you asked when I did the ditch light install how I triggered the system on and off. And what I used was an inexpensive adapter that I found on Amazon for about like 12 bucks, and it gives you a little key fob type of controller. It was a pretty reliable system when I only had 2 lights. I quickly outgrew that system when I did the roof basket light setup, and I tried to run all 6 lights and the ditch lights through that one switch, and I ended up frying it. If you're just planning on running ditch lights or something simple like that, that system is great. I highly recommend them. They will work. But if you plan on doing anything more substantial, I highly recommend the trigger system. All of the wiring for the lights on the rack and the ditch lights are run to the engine bay where they're hooked up to the trigger wireless controller. I chose this type of unit because I didn't have to run any type of wires through the firewall or anything like that. The system uses an RF controller. I'm still deciding where to mount it on the dash. I do have a radio install that I'll be doing this week as well, so stay tuned for that video. Another great feature of the Trigger wireless system is that there's actually an app that you can use to trigger your lights as well. It runs on Wi-Fi and Bluetooth technology. The app also lets you use features that Switch itself doesn't allow you to do, such as strobing and dimming your lights, so you actually have like a dimmer control on the app as well. The lights that are mounted on the rack have their wiring harnesses run down along the side of the windshield in the little groove. This side is the light bar. The other side is the chase lights. All of the harnesses are run to the driver's side because this is the side that's closest to the battery. I have the trigger controller unit. This is the unit itself. I bolted it down to the top of the relay cover, and that was done with just simple screws. The harness from the back of the trigger is your standard clip-ins right here. They supply you 4 of these, and I spliced into 3 of them. I still have 1 slot that I haven't used yet. And you can also manually trigger the lights from the engine bay as well. So unfortunately, I haven't heard anything from Prinsu regarding the holes on the Adventure and TRD RAV4s, but the fix that I had using the body plugs and siliconing them in actually has worked. I haven't had any issues with it thus far. Another question that's been frequently coming in is regarding the wind noise of these Prinsu racks. For those of you that have been following this build for a while, know that I was using a basket setup with vertical lights. There's a lot of wind noise with that setup. So going to this Prinsu rack, there's definitely a decrease in my case for wind noise. But if you are currently going from like a stock system to a Prinsu rack, you might still get a little bit of wind noise. The only noise that I'm really getting from the rack is from the empty load panels that I have up there. I'm also planning on changing up the configuration a bit once a couple more things arrive. I don't anticipate that noise being an issue once I reconfigure the top of the rack. That being said, going from the basket setup to the Prinsu rack setup, I've actually increased my miles per gallon by 1. I actually got 1 mile per gallon back, so that's an awesome benefit right there.
And there you have it, guys. I hope I was able to answer a couple of your questions. If you like this video, please hit that subscribe button and check out the Blue Yoda 4 page on Instagram. I appreciate you guys checking it out, and I will see you in the next video.